sleeping speller. That night, Judy met Frank at the library to study for the spelling test. Hey, you got your mood ring back. From Mr. Todd, said Frank when Judy arrived. Yes, said Judy, holding up her hand. Not ever take her mood ring off again until it turned positively purple. Except at school. Of course. Mr. Todd said no more mood rings at school. While she was at school, she would be sure to keep it safe, hidden in her extra special baby tooth box. Speaking of Mr. Todd, have you seen the spelling words? Asked Frank. They are hard as in difficult. Judy looked at the list. Woodbine. What in the world's a woodbine? Who knows? Asked Frank. Frank went to get the big dictionary. He came back carrying it like it weighed 100 pounds. They opened it on the table. Woodbine, Judy read aloud. A line that wraps around trees. Also called Virginia creepers, read Frank. Rare, said Judy. Creepy, said Frank. I'm tired of studying, said Judy. Tired? We only learned one word, said Frank. Let's look at our books, said Judy. Frank followed Judy down a long row of high shelves. Ooh, what books are these? I hope there aren't any Virginia creepy vines around here, said Judy in a spooky voice. I hope there aren't any creepy Virginia vines around here, said Judy in a creepy voice. Frank found a book with pictures of bones and the creepy inside stuff. Body parts, he said. Judy went to get the librarian. What did you get? Frank asked when she came back. Predict your head off, said Judy. It's all about people who predict stuff about the future. Lynn helped me find it. She's the cool librarian with the fork and the paw earrings. Not the mad-faced librarian. Hey, it's Big Head Book. I love those. How come they draw the people with such big heads anyway? Frank asked. Maybe it's to hold all those big ideas about the future. Look, see, said Judy, pointing to her. Look, these people have predicted earthquakes and fires and babies being born. Nobody can predict the future, said Frank. Can they? Yeah, said Judy. It's right here. Books don't lie. Let me see, said Frank. See, Jean Dixon, famous American fortune teller. She was some lady in Washington, D.C. who started her eggs on one morning, predicted that President Kennedy would be shot. And she predicted an earthquake in Alaska. It also says she predicted that Martians will come to Earth and take away teenagers. I wish that would happen to my big sister. If only Stink were a teenager, said Judy. Look, it says here that Jean Dixon lady saw stuff in whipped cream, said Frank. I've seen stuff in whipped cream too, said Judy, lots of times. Like what? Chocolate sprinkles, said Judy, and they both cracked up. Hey, look at this, said Judy. This book can help us with our spelling test, for real. No way. See this guy? The bald guy with the bow tie? Yep, it says that he lives right here in Virginia. They call him the Sleeping Prophet. When he was our age, like 100 years ago, he got into trouble in school for being a bad speller. One night he fell asleep with a spelling book under his head. When he woke up, he knew every word in the book. Rare! You're still going to study, said Frank. Not me, said Judy, wiggling into her coat. What are you going to do? Asked Frank. I'm going to go home to sleep, said Judy. When Judy got home, Frank was at the door. I don't have to study for my spelling test, she said, and gave him a big fat hug. A big, big hug. What's that for, asked Frank? That's for just because. Just because why? Just because tomorrow I am going to be, tons and tons of words like woodbine. Wood what? It's a creepy vine. It wraps around trees. So go find a tree to hug, said Stink. Instead, Judy went to find a dictionary. The fattest dictionary in the Moody house. She took it from her mom's office and lugged it up to her room. She did not look inside. She put the big red dictionary under her pillow. Then she got into her cozy bowling ball. Pajamas. She pretended the bowling balls were crystal balls. When she brushed her teeth, she thought she saw a letter in the toothpaste split. D for dictionary. D for dictionary. Judy climbed under the covers and leaned back on her pillow. Youch! Too hard. She got 2 more pillows. At last, she was ready to dream. Even before she fell asleep, she dreamed of being queen of the spelling bee, just like Jessica Finch was one time for the whole state of Virginia. She dreamed of being Mr. Todd's smiling face when he passed the test. Most of all, she dreamed of getting 100% 10 on her 0 wrong plus extra credit on her spelling test. She could hardly wait for school tomorrow. For once, Judy, Moody, not Jessica, Flunk, Finch, would get a Thomas Jefferson tricorn hat sticker for great job. Gooba thinking. Preposterous hippopotamus. When Judy woke up the next morning, her neck was so stiff she felt like a crook neck. Squash. But her head did not feel the least bit bigger. It did not even feel heavy from carrying around so many new words. She looked in the mirror. Some Judy had always. At breakfast, Judy stared at her eggs just like Jean Dixon, the famous American fortune teller. She thought she was on an earthquake. The earthquake was Stink shaking the ketchup bottle onto his egg. Stink, that's preposterous, said Judy. What's that mean, said Stink. It means ridiculous, said Judy. Like funny or silly, said Mom. Think hippopotamus, said Judy. Rare! The dictionary under the pillow thing really worked. Big words were flying out of her mouth faster than spit. Judy was in positively purple on top of spaghetti in the world mood. She wished she could take her mooding to school. If only. If only. On the bus, Judy told Rocky that his new magic trick was bewildering. At school, Frank gave Judy a miniature hotel soap from his collection. I already have this one, he said. Judy told him his treat was very unexpected. Then she asked Jessica Flunk Finch if she looked forward to the spelling test with anticipation. Why are you talking funny? Asked Jessica. Mr. Todd passed out lined paper for the test. He told class only 3 more school days until our special visitor comes to class. Something was not the same. Something was different. Something was peculiar, unusual. Mr. Todd had new glasses, and he was wearing a tie, a crayon tie. Mr. Todd had never dressed up for a spelling test before. Your new glasses are very noticeable, said Judy. Thank you, Judy, said Mr. Todd with a goofy grin. During the test, Judy's Moody's grouchy pencil flew across the page like never before. She spelled alfalfa and applesauce. She spelled cobweb and crystal. She hardly even had to erase except on zucchini. And she used extra credit word in a sentence. Crayon. What kind of word was crayon? Mr. Todd had crayons on the brain. For sure and absolute positive. Madame M predicts that the crayon lady will soon come to class 3T to see Mr. Todd's crayon tie. Judy's extra credit word sentence was practically a paragraph. And she used the bonus words twice. Double rare! Judy was the first one to finish, even before the Queen Bee speller Jessica Finch. Jessica wasn't even using her lucky pencil. What was that girl thinking? At the lunch table, Judy Moody was in a predictive future mood. Don't open your lunches yet. Don't open your lunches yet. Flipping my page. It's just stuck together. There. Said to everybody, but Emma will predict what's inside. Hurry up, said Rocky. I'm hungry. Judy shut her eyes. This was easy. I see bologna sandwiches. Rocky, Frank, and Jessica each held up a bologna sandwich. Everyone was amazed. Now the moment she'd been waiting for. I have another prediction, said Judy in a loud voice. What about tomorrow? Something big. Something that's never happened in class 3T before. Really? Tell us. What? Judy Moody will get 0 wrong plus extra credit on the spelling test. 110%. Pass it on. That's a preposterous as a hippopotamus, Jessica said. You didn't even study, Frank said. You never even got 100% in spelling, said Rocky. Thanks a lot, said Judy. What a bunch of baloney eaters. That was before I came to Sleeping Speller, before I learned about sleeping with the dictionary under my pillow. But Mr. Todd didn't pass out tests back yet, said Frank. You don't even know if it really worked. Judy rolled her eyeballs around. She made thinking noises. Hum, baba, hum. Mr. Todd is correcting the papers right now. I see Thomas Jefferson stickers. Tricorn hat. For good job, good thinking. You're on 100% tan cuckoo, Rocky told Judy. Just call me the sleeping speller, Judy said. Antarctica.